Yay.
Hey. What's up, everybody? So as you know, Rachelle posted a Q&A picture on Instagram. It actually looked really cool, by the way. So
Thank you.
I really liked it. But we thought it would be a cool idea just to hear more from you guys and see what you guys have to say, things that you want to know about us, because we don't really get to explain a whole lot about ourselves in our videos.
Well, we don't have enough time to respond to all your guys' comments on the videos, which you guys leave so many. It's amazing, but it's hard to be able to go through all of them and respond. Yeah. So we wanted to do a Q&A because we did one, it was almost a year ago. It was like 9 months ago that we did our last one. Mm-hmm. And a lot has changed. And there's a lot more of you. Yeah. So there's a lot more different kinds of questions. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start the video.
Alright, so the first one is, are you guys really nervous to go through IVF again since losing Bryn?
I think we're lucky in one sense is that we don't have to go through the IVF process. At this point, we don't have to go through the IVF process all over again, which is a relief. That might change. They might tell us, no, we do, but we're hopeful that we don't have to because we still have a lot of frozen embryos. I'm more nervous for the pregnancy, not for the IVF.
I agree. Yeah.
My question for you guys is, what tips or advice do you have for other couples that have been through infertility and loss? I feel like we're kind of in a special group, not in a good way, of people who have experienced both. I know a lot of people who have experienced infertility, and I know a lot of people who have experienced loss. To experience both is a club that nobody wants to be in, for sure. And I guess our advice to people that are going through either one or both is to just not give up. I mean, we've tried to get pregnant now for 2.5 years at this point, and we just refuse to give up. I mean, there's so many people that I think at this point would have and just said it's not meant to be. But we want to be parents more than anything in the world, and I think as long as you have hope and keep as much a positive attitude as you possibly can when, day to day, rather than just allowing that grief to overtake you. I think that's my most important.
Can you stop now? Okay, next one is, what is one of your favorite memories? For me, I think that my favorite memory so far, since Rachelle and I have been together, and I think probably the funnest thing that we've done, has definitely been our last Kauai trip. I've been going ever since I was a kid with my parents. They had a timeshare out there.
And I never went as a kid.
Yeah, but I mean, and granted, I had so much fun when I was a kid with them, but for some reason this last trip, I'm not sure what it was, but I think my favorite part about it was that it drew Rachelle and I so much closer together than we could have ever imagined after what we were going through. Sorry, I almost cried there. But no, but seriously, it was definitely my favorite trip, and I think that memory is going to stick with me for a long time, just because we had such an amazing time. And after the distance that we were going through in the midst of the loss and our journey,
just really
it was a nice
brought
break,
us together,
and we definitely needed it. So
oh yeah,
that was my favorite memory, I think.
One of the questions was, how did you guys meet? But if you guys didn't watch our Draw My Life or our last Q&A, we talked about that before. So I'll put those in the iCard. So whoever asked that question, because we got 1 or 2 people who asked that, to go watch one of those videos, because we've talked about it more than once. It's a funny story. It'd be fun for you guys to go watch that. Here's one. Do you plan on going back to work? If so, are you going to eventually just do YouTube? So Justin's still active duty Navy. I am a preschool teacher, and I was working full-time up until we were in the hospital, and I was planning on stopping working and being a stay-at-home mom, but obviously things did not go as we had expected, and so now we're kind of in the spot, like, what are we doing, trying to figure out work. for me, I decided I am going to go back, but I'm just going to go back part-time as a substitute teacher, just to be able to take those breaks when I need it, because I think part of the grief journey is you need a moment sometimes, and when you're working, I was working 9 to 5 basically every single day, it's hard to have that moment, and especially as a preschool teacher, like, it's very high stress, you're constantly moving, there's no time to just sit and think. And so it'll be good to just be a sub, and then I can pick what days, hey, today's not a good day, I'm really emotional, no, I can't work today. So I think that'll be good for me. For Justin.
Yeah, like she said, I'm currently still active duty. What's been cool is lately we've been kind of just seeing how, life's moving along, and I think every day we're getting closer to realizing that, I might not have to do this for 20 years. Our original plan was I was gonna do my first sea duty and go from there and maybe do a shore duty. But right now we're not really sure. We're gonna see how the next year plays out.
Yeah, we're gonna see if maybe next year he can finally look into getting out. I mean, we've enjoyed the military experience, but at the same time,
I'm a family man and I want to be home. So.
And I want him home.
Yeah.
YouTube. We're just gonna again kind of see where it goes. This has been an amazing community that has surrounded us so suddenly, and so we're still kind of comprehending kind of what's happening here. Our goal within the next year, I'd say starting next year, is to start doing daily vlogs. So that's the goal for probably starting in 2018, just to finish out this year. I think right now life is too hard still and tender to do daily vlogs. And Justin's gone a lot still, and so starting next year would be a good time to maybe start doing that. So we're looking into doing that. So if you guys are going to stick around, hopefully wait until around then next year, and maybe we'll take our channel a lot further by doing that.
What's your favorite TV show?
The Office.
Yeah, definitely.
I've talked about this so much on this channel that you guys should probably already know this.
Yeah.
But other shows, what is one other show that you like?
Rick and Morty.
See, I don't think it's funny. I don't get it. I don't.
But what's funny is that The Office has kind of molded its way into our lives in a way where I don't even realize that I'm quoting it with people. And it's really sad because most people don't understand. And then afterwards, I'm like, gosh.
If you are The Office, a fan of The Office, please leave a comment below, because we're to the point where it's all we know.
It's unhealthy. It really is.
My one for me was, what did you study in, or what do you have a degree in? I have my associate's degree in child development, so I actually just got that 2 days after Bryn passed away, and so we didn't really get to celebrate that, and so that's kind of a bummer. But I did finally get my degree. I had to take a few semesters off when we got married, and there's just a lot going on, and so I didn't get a walk, which was really kind of a bummer because Justin was deployed when I graduated from high school, and he missed my high school graduation, and so I was really sad, and I was really excited that I got to walk from college this year and get my degree, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But I do have my associate's degree in child development. That's why I'm a preschool teacher, and yeah, I've always loved it. Justin doesn't have a degree yet.
Nope. All right. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? I swear I would think Hawaii. Honestly, yeah, it would definitely be Kauai. I think out of the places I've gone, which I haven't really been a whole lot of places.
We've been we've visited a lot through the United States, but international that we haven't gone to.
It would definitely be Kauai. I hear a lot of people talk about island fever, and it's not something I'd get.
We actually had that conversation in Hawaii.
Every time I'm there, I fall in love with it.
And there's just so much to do that I feel like you could never run out of stuff to do. But if you guys also haven't seen our Kauai vlogs and you guys are planning a trip, go watch our videos that will give you some ideas of stuff to do, because it was the best trip, like we've talked about. It was so much fun.
It was.
So we would highly recommend anyone going there. What made you think of the name Bryn? Will you tell your future children about your experience and her loss? The fact that our daughter passed away doesn't make us any less of parents, and that she will always be our daughter. And I don't want to get emotional because I know you guys have seen way too many videos of us crying, but she will always be our daughter, and she'll always be a part of us and a part of her future siblings. There's no doubt in the world that they will know who she was, why her story was so important, and part of the reason we love these videos is that we get to show her siblings in the future that, yeah, she was real. And so wanted and so, woo,
Yeah.
and so loved.
Yeah.
And honestly, her name, it was a name we decided on 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
We had a really easy time deciding on boy names, or an easier time coming up with boy names, but we never agreed on any girl names except for Bryn. That was the only name, and we just fell in love with it the second we heard it. We thought it was unique, but not like a weird kind of unique.
Yeah,
it was
beautiful.
pretty. It went well with her middle name, which was Caroline, which was after my grandmother, who passed away a few years ago, and so it just flowed. It was beautiful. And I don't know anyone with that name. He didn't know anyone with that name, and it will always be a very special name to us. And yeah,
sharing Bryns Story with with our future children, I think is going to be so cool, because it's going to allow them to see how what we've been through with Bryn is going to allow us as parents to
be better parents.
Absolutely love them 1,000 times more, just because of where we've been. And you know, it's going to be hard to kind of navigate through that and explain it to them, and I agree, when we talked about it, it's just, I know that I'm going to be a better dad because of it, and I know that Rachelle's going to be a better mom because of it. Yeah.
It's getting real, guys.
This says, will you be getting a tattoo in memory of Bryn? If you guys haven't seen our tattoos before.
Yeah. Justin hasn't shown his in a video yet.
So
I don't know if you guys can see it. You might want to come closer to the camera.
I have her footprint and her name right next to it.
And so I wanted to get kind of like a matching one. So I got her name, Bryn Caroline Swannie, and her handprint on my arm. And I think I talked about that in my video talking about stillbirth, but we haven't shown his yet. And so, how would you feel if you're blessed with another daughter one day? Do you think it will be easier to have a son due to everything you've gone through?
We would love to have another girl. There's nothing that's holding us back from that.
No, I want one. I don't want to not have one, because I've talked about this in our nursery video where I said that I want to pass her things down, special things down. I had one set of like swaddles that I laid one with Bryn when we said goodbye, and I want to give the other one to her little sister, and just to have them have this special bond. I know somebody who had her big sister was stillborn before she was born, and so she told me she always grew up knowing that there was someone, you know, I can't do it.
It's hard.
That there was someone watching over her.
Yeah.
And I want her to have a little sister, you know?
Yeah.
But I understand why people would think that we wouldn't, because it would be hard. And it will be, obviously.
It'll be hard to face those fears when they pop into your head, because you can't control that stuff. You know, I know that when you get pregnant again,
we
do find out if it's a girl, it's going to be hard at times. I know there's going to be nights where you're going to be scared.
Miss her, or I'm going to wish that Bryn was here too.
Yeah. What is one thing from each of you that is on your bucket list? One big thing. Unless you already have something.
Honestly, all in life I want is to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
I have wanted to go to Ireland my entire life. I think it's the most beautiful place in the world. Someday I will go. I don't know when. Honestly, that's all I want to do. I just want to go to Ireland.
I think for me it's skydiving. That's one thing on my bucket list that we still haven't done yet.
And my bucket list is to not let him go skydiving.
Why not?
I don't want him to leave me. I have another really good one kind of regarding IVF. It said, I remember in a video you said you had 17 embryos. Are you considering donating or giving them to a family with infertility? Or what are your options, I guess? So when we first did our IVF cycle, we did end up with 17 frozen embryos. And we were kind of overwhelmed because 17 is so many. But honestly, that number is not very accurate because they diminish as you do transfers. So when we did our first transfer, we lost 2. They didn't stick. Our second transfer, we had 2 again, and only 1 did. That resulted in Bryn. And in that case, we had, 13 embryos left at that point. So we still have 13 frozen embryos. But out of those 17, 4 have already, 3 have already not stuck, and 1 ended in a stillbirth. And so we still have so many. Honestly, we're not even considering what we're going to do yet.
Not yet.
We're not going to discard them. No. We don't believe in that. All of them have a chance at life, and we want to give every one of them a chance at life. And so we would either donate them or honestly, yeah, we have no idea what's going to happen. But we know that we're not going to make that decision ultimately until the time comes.
Okay, I wanted to ask if you guys were open to adoption. I remember one time I came home and she just kind of brought it up and asked me what I thought about it. And I was absolutely open. I was like, absolutely, let's talk about it. Let's see what that consists of. I'm not sure what sparked that memory. I mean, not that memory, but what sparked that idea for you?
It was because I worked with a woman who had recently adopted her daughter through the foster care system. And I've never had anything against adoption at all. But it was never really something that I was like super passionate about, I guess. But I worked with a woman who adopted her daughter through foster care and got her when she was 2 days old, 1 day old. And now she's like 3 or almost 3. It's crazy. But I was there for that whole process. I started working there right when she was born. And I still am, head over heels in love with this little girl. And I remember thinking, like, it just hit me kind of one day. I love these girls so much. They're not my kids. They're not even biologically my boss's kids. And I would do anything for them. So it kind of opened the door, like, I would do anything for these kids. What wouldn't I do for a kid that I actually did adopt who wasn't biologically mine? I would give up the world for them. I would love them just as much as I would love. And so I kind of was like, what do you think of that? And so that's always been on the table for us. Unfortunately, now is not the time to pursue that.
We went to one of the meetings and kind of got information about it to see through the county, like what it entails and stuff. But we decided at that point, we got a really crappy house. And when they were talking about home inspections and stuff like that, we're like,
it's not crappy,
in my head, I'm like, yeah, that might not pass and stuff like that. But then even with our work schedules and things like that. It's just
mostly him too. I mean,
because I have to be there for all of these orientations and the trainings and the courses and stuff. So
he works too much.
I think for now, and then we did talk and we decided that we wanted to continue to attempt to get pregnant on our own first, and then when we decided we wanted to start IVF, that's when we kind of put the adoption thing on a standstill.
We couldn't do both. Yeah. As a military spouse, I'm always curious about the future of current military families. Does your husband intend on making the military a career? What are your long-term plans regarding that? Where would you like to live? And have you moved since your husband joined? If so, where?
I mean, when I joined, we were lucky enough to get stationed here in San Diego.
Close to home, close to family.
Which is only an hour away from where I work. I mean, from where we live, so.
So we haven't moved at all.
No, and we haven't.
And he's been in since 2012, so about 5 years.
I re-enlisted for 2 years to extend on my current command, just because things weren't looking so hot at that point, career-wise for me, and I kind of had to make some decisions. Yeah, I had to make some decisions based on what was going to help my future the most. So at that point, I just decided to extend and re-enlist for 2 years on board my ship. And that time is almost coming up. I have a year left.
Yeah, 1 more year. That's why we're saying we're going to see how this year goes. Play it by ear kind of thing.
You know, there's plenty of options, and I think that's what's awesome about where we are right now is
we're not in a rush. Yeah, we have about a year to make that decision,
and we're secure, and you know,
finances,
the benefits are great. You know, so we think that if I do get out, I'm gonna stay in the reserves and then just get a part-time job somewhere. And then continue to do YouTube and see where that goes the next year. And
we love this.
Yeah,
this has been such a cool experience for us, you guys. And we started filming our infertility journey back in 2016, over a year ago. But like really consistently talking and uploading probably in like August when we started IVF. And it's been such an amazing experience getting to meet so many people. I never knew how like amazing the YouTube community really is, and how many of you guys are just reaching out to us and so sweet and like sending us letters. You don't have to send us stuff, and you choose to. Like it's overwhelmed us so much. Like I can't even explain it. So we've enjoyed it. We want to continue to do it for sure. To my cousin who asked if I'm coming up for Thanksgiving, yes. Yay. My question is, how did you get into photography? Any tips for someone just starting out? So I'm one of those people that changes their hobbies way too much. I remember I did scrapbooking for a really long time, or what are some, I've done so many things that I'm really not like good at making commitments to those kinds of hobbies.
You just did them.
Yeah,
I just had fun.
I enjoy them, and then they don't last. But photography is the one hobby that I've always loved, always has lasted. Going back to when I started out, I guess some tips would be to get a decent camera. You don't have to get like a super expensive one. Mine is a lot more expensive.
What did you start out with?
I started out with a Canon T3i and a kit lens. Don't jump into it and pay $3,000 up front for this camera that you don't know how to use. But enjoy it. Get Lightroom to start learning how about editing for sure. Don't just try and do auto. Learn manual mode. That's the most important thing actually. Learn how to shoot in manual mode, not auto. And that's how your pictures turn out great. But thank you. That's really sweet. All right, I think we're gonna do just one more question. Because I'm pretty sure we've been filming for a really long time at this point. Yeah. I don't know how much longer this camera has in it. How old are you both, and what are your goals and plans for the future now? So we're both 22. We got married when we were 19, started dating when we were 17. So we've been together for like 5.5 years at this point. Yep. Goals for the future. It's kind of hard for me at least to think future-wise right now. I mean, more than 1 year out. It's hard to think. I think 1 year out I have a grip on where we want to be, but I think exceeding 1 year is kind of hard to think about because of what we've been through the last 2 months. We would love to be pregnant come next year. I mean, as hard as it's going to be and how much a struggle more it's going to be, there's nothing we want more than to be parents. Absolutely. And to give Bryn a little sibling. And I would want to be pregnant or in the process of adoption, whatever that looks like. I would hope that some of our goals for the future were to just be, again, to focus on us and our marriage and keep that strong. The next year is going to be interesting. Yeah. That's for sure. There's a lot that's going to be different. We've gone through things before, and we're going to get through this together, and we're going to exceed. And honestly, I can't think of like what an actual goal would be.
I think honestly the goal is to get through this next year. And I think by June of next year, I think that's the point when we're finally going to be able to start making some future decisions, some long-term decisions.
And we're looking forward to that. Like, that's an exciting thing to think about, as hard as it is right now. I mean, so much has changed. Like, from the beginning of May to the beginning of July, just an 8-week period, our whole lives have flipped. Of what we thought this year was going to look like is completely different now.
So it's kind of wrecked our thinking and planning process.
We're trying to figure out now what is the future looking like, and it's hard to think like, oh, we have this now because we thought we had it and we lost it, and now it's like, okay, so now we have to start over. What is this next year?
Completely different spectrum now.
Yeah, and so mostly I guess is to just continue keeping our marriage strong, continue putting out videos for you guys. You guys are amazing. Continue, trying to make big decisions in our life, and we're just going to kind of play it by ear, honestly. And that sucks for me. Yeah. I am a planner. So this is hard for me. And it's pushing my limits a little bit. But we are looking forward to it at the same time. Hopefully in the future, starting those daily vlogs with you guys. And
for sure.
Becoming a bigger part of this community that you guys have reached out your arms around us. And it's been amazing. But
it truly has.
We love you guys. We really do. I say it all the time in like every video. I think I say I love you guys so much because when I film these videos, I'm not talking to a camera. Like, I'm literally in my head picturing all of your pictures that you guys have your comments, your words. Like, I'm picturing you. I know a lot of your names because some of you guys have been with us since we started filming, and a lot of you guys are new, and I feel like I'm talking to you guys directly, and we honestly love you guys so much.
We appreciate all the support. It's been incredible.
And we're gonna give back the best way we know how, which is to continue to put videos out for you guys. And you guys have supported us so much, and we're so thankful. So we love you guys. We're gonna talk to you again probably tomorrow or the next day with a budgeting or couponing video.
Woo, those will be fun.
So we'll see you guys then. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
We did it, buddy.
Oh, dang it, you brat. We won.